history with the election of President Barack Obama. He called us to service as there remains much work to do to end unemployment, poverty, and crime in our communities. There's so many books on how we can accomplish this. But this year, everyone's raving about this summer's hottest new book, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America by Chicago's own Emmanuel Barbee. A graduate of Northeastern Illinois University, Barbee addresses key ways we back our families and communities. But unlike so many other books on this topic, Barbee captivates his reader, presenting solutions through a riveting life story. It's entertaining, it's different, it's exciting. The perfect book club selection. Don't be left out. Get your copy of The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America. Order today at Amazon.com.
Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. If you are new to this channel, then please subscribe. Hit that like button to show that you enjoy our content and share with your friends. This will help grow our audience. So far, I only have 200 subscribers. On Facebook, I have 1,788 people on my friends list. I am encouraging everyone on my friends list to please subscribe. Once I have 1,000 subscribers, then I will begin my Patreon page and provide exclusive videos to my contributors. Without Black support, I am unable to do my job. I use YouTube and Facebook Live to stream my podcast. If you don't understand English, no worries. I provide a written transcript in the group with the same name as shown as the show. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Prove section on the transcript. You can find my author page, our virtual store, and all of my other pages under the About section on my YouTube channel. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from the podcast community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships, grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. From now until December 19th, 2020, people on my friends list and people in my social groups can still come on the show to promote their business and or share a sermon with our listeners from around the globe, or share your special talents and skills. We will restart the show beginning January 7th, 2021. I am calling upon everyone on my friend Facebook page and in my social groups to please step up and work with me and Sister Renee in turning our Christian business, GRCI of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, into a successful Black business, first by subscribing to my YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Secondly, we are looking for those of you who know how to conduct a professional fundraising campaign for our film project for next spring, 2021. If interested, please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. Finally, we are looking for those of you who are graphic designers. We want to improve our podcast with graphics and with our business logo and for our future film poster. If interested, please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. Those of you who join our film project will go down in history with us because we will mention your name in the credits. Our goal is to raise $500,000 for our film project, Hood Liberator, made in Chicago. The war against Willie Lynch begins. We are sincerely grateful to all of our supporters, no matter how big or small the donations are. I am encouraging everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups to please purchase my ebook on Amazon. It's available for $9.99. Help us get this ebook on the bestsellers list so that people can take our cause serious. Or you can buy the regular softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. Our Christian business, Grakai of Chicago, or the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, will be in the business of creating docudramas, short films, theater, photography, fine arts, music, poetry, literature, sculpture, and dance for inner city youth. Once this virus is cleaned up, we plan on launching African tours in order for us to move from behind a computer and make a real connection with our global black family on the continent, starting in South Africa, in order to build a bridge between the diaspora and continental Africans. Consider becoming a monthly contributor to our PayPal page. We are excited to partner with Teespring. On there we have a virtual store, Gracam merchandise, such as a COVID face mask, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All proceeds will go towards our film project. This podcast is an extension of the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. This is a podcast where we talk about solving black issues, African issues, using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to the great awakening of our people that has been prophesied. Our objective is to get our film project fully funded and play it by ear during COVID-19. Once this virus is cleaned up, then we will shoot our film and promote our film in selected movie theaters and sell our DVDs. Together we will put Gracam on the map and turn my vision for Black America into a reality. Gracam is an ideology that supports the solidarity of Black and African law-abiding citizens. We want to help improve our community through economics, social, spiritual development, and political progress. We will only be responsible for our members. If you are not a member, we will pray for you and show you tough love and keep it moving. I don't have another 29 years to waste talking to small-minded black people who don't care about black issues. Our motto, intelligence over ignorance. Once Grakai is established in Chicago, I plan on turning the business over to qualified management team. I hope and pray that we can expand Grakai in 5 cities before we expand to Africa. Once I start making money, everyone will want to join us, mark my words. We will use thumb technology for our members to keep tabs on who's doing what within the business. Unlike my Facebook groups, we will not have passive spectators. Everyone will be required to do their part. This is not just business, it's personal. None of our members will never have to endure such disrespect for trying to do something positive in the black community. Grakai is based on my experience. I don't associate with con artists, no hardened criminals, no active gang members, no urban terrorists, no pedophiles, and no half-steppers allowed in my organization. This is how I get down. This is my contribution back to my community, society, and throughout the African diaspora. Tonight's topic, exposing plantation politics in America. On Thanksgiving, I visited a close friend of mine. We ended up talking about the election, so I decided to talk about the election with the global black family and what it means for us. It looks like Joe Biden has been selected as the new president-elect. According to Joe Biden's Twitter page, he said, quote, especially for those moments when this campaign was at its lowest, the African American community stood up for me again. They always have my back and I'll have yours, unquote. This is the basis of holding Joe Biden accountable at his own words for the next 4 years. This is why we have to hold tangibles for Black America. Again, I'm going to say that again. That's why we have to hold Joe Biden about our tangibles for Black America. Barack Obama got away with not doing anything for us because the black baby boomers was satisfied with black representation or black faces in high places. The black vote has been impotent and ineffective. There are people among us who prefer to keep it that way. Black people are the only group that do not vote as a collective for white supremacy. For example, I have a video clip of Congressman James Clyburn saying that he does not want anything from the Joe Biden administration. So let me play that clip real fast.
Clyburn, thank you for joining us right now. Most Democrats think you're a kingmaker.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And are you pretty confident now this is wrapped up for Joe Biden?
I'm sorry,
Sorry, are you pretty confident now this is wrapped up for Joe Biden?
Oh, yes, I am. I think that Joe Biden has run a great campaign. I think the numbers are coming in very clearly in his favor. I do believe that when things are said and done over the next 24 hours, he will be declared the winner. All of us are looking forward to that. Joe Biden is just a great guy. And exactly what the country needs at this particular point.
That's what you said back in February. Take us back to that moment. I think it was the Monday before the South Carolina primary. You came out and decided it was time to endorse and embrace Joe Biden. Walk us through your decision-making process. Could you have imagined it would have the impact that it had? How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
I'm sorry?
How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
Pay me back. I don't want anything out of this. All I want is a country that my children and grandchildren can be able to develop in and be able to pursue their dreams and aspirations. I've been around. I'm full scores. I'm beyond the promise. So I'm not
I think you have a lot of promise. I think you have a lot of promise left. Congressman Clyburn, thanks for joining us.
So you see, this is why, we as black people are having such a hard time getting ahead, and this is why other groups are leaping over us, hopping over us, because we have a lot of people that's in the top positions that isn't actually advocating for our behalf. He don't want anything because he's already getting a lot of things. His pocket is fat. He's well fed, and his family is well taken care of. But he don't care about the masses. So that's not cool. James Clyburn voted for the 1994 crime bill, aka Biden's law. And just like Joe Biden, Clyburn refuses to apologize for the damage that he helped created against the black community. James Clyburn, real constituents isn't black people or the voters of his district, but rather white corporate interests who have made him rich. People like him and the Congressional Black Caucus are selling out black people's interests. They have to serve the interests of their white DNC, which is the Democratic National Convention masters. This attack on the black grassroots is coming from the left-wing white supremacists. The grassroots agenda is what black people want. But these so-called black leaders' entire job hinges on whether or not they can control black people. That's what the black leadership class is all about. The white establishment put them there. They're put in place to get us to act against our own interests. James Clyburn is worried that he is losing his influence on black people in South Carolina. He was unable to get black people to turn out for Jamie Harrison. How long before black people stopped voting for him? The Roland Martins and Van Jones represent the old black media. We are the new voices of black media, and we will expose those who try to mislead us or hurt our interests. The Congressional Black Caucus is nothing more than a black bootlicks, and sellouts. They don't advocate for black people. They only look out for themselves. They tell black people not to push for economic tangibles. Black people have chosen of our own free will to be involved in an abusive relationship with the dominant society. We have these so-called black leaders claiming they are working for our best interests, but all they're doing is blaming us for their failures in office. They're getting rich because of us, and when we demand what we want, they cry foul. Our black politicians tell us that demanding road cops who murder black people be punished is politically unpopular. The grassroots community activist movement is encouraging the black grassroots to tell the Biden administration if they do not meet our demands in terms of economic tangibles and punishing road cops, then we're withholding our vote. It's better to lose an election and get the policies we want than to win an election and get nothing. The black grassroots objective is to gain wealth, freedom, justice, and social equality. In America, one political party, the Republicans, claim to be the white man's party. In contrast, Democrats claim to be the party for everyone. This is how you lure people in for oppression, for the long haul. You have to get them to buy into the idea that the system is going to address their very problems it created. Barack Obama just sat on his hands while violence was being carried out against black people. That's the game both political parties are playing. The way a true democracy is supposed to work is by having constituents make demands, and the politicians are supposed to carry out those demands in office. This is why we elect them. As I mentioned in my revised book, The Solution for Black America, in the 1960s, our leaders were tricked into pushing for integration. Our leaders told our grandparents that the most important thing was getting black faces in high places. What we got were race traitors like John Lewis and James Clyburn. James Clyburn has not been politically punished for his treason against black interests, and that's our fault for allowing him to remain in office. Those of you who have voted for Joe Biden is validating Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's 60 plus years of anti-black racism. Joe Biden's policy for the first 100 days in office will focus on immigration and LGBT agenda. Illegal immigrants and the LGBT community did not get him into office, according to his tweets on Twitter. It was the black vote. He wanted to attach our struggle with other groups to our legislation that our grandparents fought and died for. These groups have more protection under the law than us. The financial elites want to permanently neutralize the black vote. And that's what I need black people to understand. According to Marie Claire from the article, quote, Joe Biden's first 100 days in office, what he's sworn to do by Bianca Rodriguez. Joe Biden's plan for immigration, she lists 14 bullet points. She mentioned specific tangibles for Latinos. They want resources at the border. She is only focusing on her people, even though in Florida her people voted for Trump. Kamala Harris told us that they cannot discuss specific tangible for black people. They only talk like this when it comes down to black people's stressing our interests in the political game of politics. Joe Biden wants to create a pathway to citizenship for 11 million illegal immigrants. He's going to support dreamers and their families. What about black families? We've been hurting for years. No one on the planet rewards citizenship to people who have broken the law, except here in America. We don't have enough resources as it is, for our own people. Bottom line, he wants to give amnesty to illegal immigrants to make sure they replace the black votes. Joe Biden's plan for the LGBT community. She lists 2 bullet points. Automatic protection under the law, direct federal resources to help prevent violence against transgender women. Assaulting anyone is a crime, no matter if they are straight or homosexuals. He also wants to pass the Equality Act. What happened to the argument that you can't do something just for one group of people? It has to be for everybody. American politics is shifting towards LGBT and non-black issues. I'm going to close with my thoughts about the election results. We have to turn this event towards our benefit. We're not driven by politics. We're driven by rebuilding our community so that we can have an economic base. We're up against multi-million-dollar corporations. The facts are Joe Biden will help illegal immigrants, the LGBT community, the Asian community, and everyone else except us. The reason why I and others have asked you to sit this election out was to get the attention of black people, specifically black people whose ancestry is traced back to American slavery. At this point, the most important thing that we can do is be on code and be persistent. Mainstream media will try to get black people to vote who voted for Joe Biden to feel like they won something. They want us to stop talking about economic tangibles and punishing road cops. For them, the only thing worth talking about is getting Trump out of office, because immigration, LGBT, gender bathrooms, and the environment is what matters. When do we deal with the racial wealth gap in America? The grassroots community activist movement is attempting to break that programming of do-nothing type of attitude among black people. We want to raise up black critical thinkers in the 21st century. Who was Joe Biden's base? When Kamala ran during the primary, she was rejected by the black community. The financial elites have a vested interest in getting Trump out of office. I believe a few Republicans may have been in on removing Trump from office because they are in the pockets of the financial elites. If we're going to have an election, I want to make sure it's done the right way. If you give black people economic tangibles, then we will legitimately vote for you. When mainstream media give black people too much credit, it's a setup waiting to happen. Black people did not do this massive support for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The media is pushing this illusion that a lot of black people are supportive of Kamala because she is a, quote, woman of color. There are 3 groups of people caping for Kamala. The first group is bootleg people like Roland Martin and Monique Presley. The second group is black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. The third group is hood rats. I predict once the new administration is sworn into office, we will have mandatory vaccines starting with the black people. According to Time of India, Joe Biden's administration will provide U.S. citizenship to over 5,000 Indians, meaning they are going to bring more anti-black contempt. Kamala told us what she can't do for black people, but she's going to use our tax dollars to help fund her people to America. We gotta have a cultural revolution within Black America. Black people must be conditioned to only accept economic tangibles. We are not going to pass down what the black baby boomers have given us. We are through watching other groups eating off the table what our ancestors labored for while we're being denied what's rightfully ours. Some of you who have been with us on Facebook for 16 years know how hard it was in the beginning when nobody was listening. We were just a small group talking about black empowerment stuff. We're not so small anymore due to our podcast. This is just the beginning. Our goal in 2021 is to get our film project fully funded and made so that we can put our story on the map. I'm not here to cower behind a computer. I'm here to recruit brave and smart black people and African people. I need smart boots on the ground, starting in Chicago. Black empowerment is not about one political election. We're in this for the long haul. This will conclude my podcast for this evening because basically I'm not taking any calls. I just wanted to try to say something real fast about, the election and everything. Again, I feel it's just really pathetic. A lot of our people are just so, excited that, they think they won something. When in fact, I just shared the article with you how, all other groups are going to get, what's due to them. But they want to, include what's due to us for everyone. So that's not cool. That's not cool at all. The civil rights movement was hijacked by the financial elites because our people, they were begging for, again, freedom, justice, and equality. So, and still, in 2020, we're in the same situation our grandparents were in back in the 60s in terms of, those protests. That's the whole reason why they were marching and protesting. But yes, some things have changed, but some things are still, remains the same, and that is institutionalized racism and white supremacy. And that's always going to take place in America. That's what black people need to understand. They just have to accept that. However, we do have options, and that's why I'm trying to encourage our people, especially those that's on my friends list, to support this, our cause, support our film project, support everything that we're trying to do, because after all, it's for black people. And this is, like I say, it's really hard to, keep saying the same message over and over. It's very heartbreaking and, it's disgusting to me. But yet, time and time again, I guarantee you, once the new administration is sworn into office, the same problems are going to take place. By the road cops are going to continue to kill black people. We're going to continue to experience institutionalized racism, and our people are still going to be marching and protesting and being on that hamster wheel. Well, the grassroots community activist movement is here, and I'm trying to encourage our young people, especially those that's, I would say, 20 and up to, let's say, about 30 years old. This organization is for your generation, which is the Black millennials, as well as Generation Z. And the whole purpose is for us to pull our resources together through this business right here that I'm trying to start. I laid out the detailed plan in my revised book. I wrote the vision and made it plain. But, again, a lot of our people don't like to read, so this is why I have to turn it into a film in order to reach the masses. If that's what it takes, so be it. But this is the best that I can do. Again, I'm just one individual. I'm just one black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team to make a dream work. Now, before I even go to Africa, I got to make sure I help my people that's trapped in American ghettos. Again, if I was just trying to make money, I would have written many of books. I've been doing this for 29 years. And the whole point is, how come all of the social networks that I've been on, 300 exactly, because I wrote down everything on my, and it's saved on my flash drive. The different groups that I created and the different sites that I were on, a majority of those sites are shut down. And and I predict too that eventually Facebook is going to get rid of the groups as well. So those of you who are serious about doing business with me and Sister Renee, exchange email addresses with me while I'm still on Facebook. And so that way we can stay connected. That's very important. Otherwise, if they shut down my site again, maybe you'll never see me again. But I'm out there. I'm doing the best that I can to promote my information. And I refuse to be ignored. And the biggest pushback that I'm getting is not by white people, it's by our own people. And so, it is what it is. But again, we're going to raise the bar in Black America. We're going to raise the bar once we come to the African continent. And we want to present the best of Black culture. And we want to let everybody know that's not our non-Black sympathizers, if they want to join us, how things is going to be ran up in this organization. Anybody that tries to change our focus, try to change, the issues that we want to focus on, will get 2 warnings. That third time, that person or persons will be placed on our Judas list, and they will be barred for life. I got that in the revised book as well. I mentioned that stuff. But everything that's in that revised book, that's just half of my knowledge. I didn't, write down everything because I know the enemy is going to be reading my stuff too. The financial elites don't like me. I already know that. That's why they're fighting so hard against me trying to reach our people. But they don't have to fight that hard because a lot of our people, they stuck on this Willie Lynch mentality. But that's how come I need to get this organization started here in Chicago, so we can have that physical building where people can know that this is real. And again, the film is going to be based on my experience. All this stuff that I have been experiencing, in my life, is going to be in Hood Liberator. even the groups, all those things. But we can do this if we want to, if we're really serious. Because the main thing is that black people, we're under a grace period right now. If black people do not try to unite and for us to work together for our own interests, collectively we will become a permanent underclass here in the United States. And if Africa don't get itself together in terms of, squashing that tribalism and all that stuff, and for us to try to work together to combat a lot of those non-black foreigners that's coming over, that's trying to become the new colonizers, Africa will end. We will end up losing Africa, and if we lose Africa, we lose everything. So our focus, as the Grassroots Community Activist Movement and as the Grassroots Community Activist Institute, is to focus on two fronts: domestically here in the United States and internationally on the African continent, as well as in the Caribbean and eventually in Brazil. But I got to hit, Africa, because that's where the source is. That's where we want to have our main base eventually. And all I can tell you is that even you don't have to be a Christian to be part of this organization. However, if you are into that African, we're going to screen people, but yeah, if you're into that African spirituality, I can't have that up in my Christian business, because that goes against my faith big time. I'm willing to work with moderate Muslims. Again, everyone will be treated equally. Black women will make the same amount of money as black men. We're going to practice what we preach. We want to push for actually like a Christian society, but an authentic Christian society, because again, I only have support from the church. So this is how come I have to go out beyond the church. This is why I'm online. And the Christian business is going to meet the need of the community, because we want to reach those that the church, overlooks and think that they are not worthy because of X, Y, and Z. God created all of us equal. That is man-made stuff that's, try to, separate us and put us into all these different categories. I would say capitalism. But nevertheless, I have said my piece. There's no compromising when it comes down to this stuff. I take this very serious. That's how come I've been pushing it for 29 years. Again, I paraphrase what I say here and there, but bottom line, I'm saying the same thing. And my goal is just to see our people prosper, the real black people that's want more out of life, and separate ourselves from those that want to be hardened criminals. Urban terrorists is no friend of black people. They're destroying the community. Drug dealers, they're not really friends of black people. They're just trying to make money. They're killing off their customers, because they're selling them highly poisonous stuff that destroys the black family. And I have personal experience with that stuff, because that's what I went through as a youth. So that's how come I'm saying this organization is based on my experience. And that's what makes this organization different from other black organizations, because we're going to, again, raise the bar. And the only reason why I'm starting it off as is technically in the book, Rakai was supposed to be a for-profit business. I wasn't able to find investors, so I switched it around. I said, well, I started off as a non-profit then. I was blessed to find a couple people to be on my board of directors, and Sister Renee is one of them. So I'm grateful for that. But again, we're going to have two functions. We're going to have a non-for-profit, and that's my gift to the community, and that's going to represent the green zone. And then we're going to have a for-profit service-based business, and that's where I'm going to make my bread and butter. And that's where that's going to be considered the red zone. Because, we have to make a living too, And we want to promote the best of black culture, but we want to make sure that we just carry out all this stuff and that we connect with other like-minded people. And I want to make sure that this organization can function without me having to physically be there all the time, because I have to turn it over. Because of all of this unnecessary being overlooked and rejection and all that stuff that I have to endure. So again, I want to just hurry up, do what I need to do, so that way I can bring this stuff to the continent and work in South Africa to get this organization popping, and for us to expand it to 10 African nations. I'm praying that I can do this within my lifetime. Again, Africa, my African family, those that's on the continent, please do not act like black Americans, because again, I do not have another 29 years to waste. Our goal is, once we come to West Africa, we want to bring the best of the diaspora. We want to work on fixing those rolling blackouts and come up with an invention to help with the water filtration. I hear those are the major problems over there in West Africa. Gurkam is coming. I say Gurkam, Gurkai, I use it interchangeably. Gurkam is the ideas, Gurkai is the real business. That's what's going to be concrete, and that's what we want to push for, Gurkai. And eventually, all those other things that I mentioned in the book, and some things is not in the book because it was just too much information. But I'm going to teach that to my members in person when they meet me. And again, we're going to make sure, if you want to be part of my management team, I want you're going to have to pass our criminal background checks, and you're going to have to submit your qualifications. Once you pass the criminal background checks and you meet our qualification, then I can discuss business with you. That's how I operate. Just because a person is black don't mean that they're going to be able to be part of this organization. Again, you will be screened. And I want to make sure that you on the up and up with us. And just want people to know that you will be able to, we will work with helping people reach their personal life goals in this organization. So, yes, part of it could be personal, but also we want to be for the collective, so that way this can be passed down for future generations. Black people, we got to get our house in order and get our act together, because no one else is going to care for our youth. So with that being said, thank you for listening to my podcast. I'm going to just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's in advance. And God bless everyone that's on my friends list. Again, if it was up to me, everybody would be on board, but a lot of people just got attitudes, and some people want to just sit back and wait. Wait until this organization is up and running and successful, and then they want to come to us and talking about they want to join. But ain't nothing changing. You're still going to have to go through those background checks. You pass our criminal background checks, and you go through our mandatory orientation. Ghakem is coming, Africa. Ghakem is coming, Chicago. Yes, 29 years of rejection. Ain't nothing changed. I'm still saying the same thing. And not only am I saying that, now we're going to back up what I'm saying because I got some momentum. And I got a film that's coming out. And with that film comes the capital that I need to hire qualified people of my choosing. And with that comes a great responsibility for the community. All right. This is going to conclude our show for this evening.